Mortgage Master Service Corporation, CO 40445, Equal Housing Opportunity.
We developed 5 characteristics that describe who we are because we've evolved over the years.
This is Duke from Duke's Seafood.
Well, one of the characteristics of Duke's is it's a comfortable place. I do not like going places that are stuffy. I want our people to be friendly, and they are. And I want them to be relaxed and just be themselves so that the guests then can feel comfortable and they can be themselves. This is a really authentic place. There is no BS here.
Free dinner when you join Duke's Email Club.
Did everyone agree with you? Let's find out. Choose your news on the Candy, Mike, and Todd Show.
We're on Facebook Live right now. Find us, Candy, Mike, and Todd. Hi, waving to the camera. All right. So we just gave you a taste of our stories. You've been texting your votes. Candy, Mike, Todd at 98973. The Online Trading Academy text line from the 206. Mike, is it coincidental that your baby-making story is on hump day? I don't think so. I hope it wasn't too hard to come up with such a penetrating tale. Josh in Tacoma. There's 4 in there, in case you're wondering. Josh in Tacoma says, the work story might actually be positive and relevant. That means Candy gets my vote today. Now back to work. From the 253, Todd's prison story. But she won't get much time in Washington. She could steal a calendar and get less than 12 months. That was a good one. The Choose Your News scoreboard currently says Todd is sitting at 39, Mike's at 49. I am at 37, and we do have a winner today, obviously.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, let's talk about odds, Mike Lewis. The odds of having a boy or a girl. The baby makers are out, and they want to hear your story.
We're going to eliminate the odds and turn it into a decision is what we're going to do, potentially. So, I hope I'm not telling you guys something you don't already know, and in fact, you should really know this, but it is the sperm that determines the sex of the kid, right? So it either is carrying a Y or it's carrying an X. 2 X's make a girl, XY makes a boy. Simple. But it turns out that chemically, these sperm cells are slightly different, and you can add a team of researchers at Hiroshima University. They've done this with animals, but according to the team, this is absolutely true in humans as well. That the molecular structure in the X-carrying chromosome and the Y-carrying chromosome are slightly different to the extent that you can add a chemical and slow down the swim speed of the X's. And you can, or speed up the swim speed of the Y's. You can do this and make one side much, 90% is what they're saying, as high as, once they perfect it, as high as 98% likely to reach the egg when the other ones don't, because the other ones are just, caught in traffic. And so you can actually decide which of the two you want to actually arrive and fertilize the egg. And they're doing it all the time now there and in test runs with, Todd thing in mice, but they're also doing it in cattle and they're also doing it in other animals. And it turns out that it does apply, according to the researchers, it does apply to humans. The same sort of technique would work here. It is illegal to do this in the UK, but guess where it's illegal to do this?
Ta-da!
In the United States. And the thinking is that someone, it's going to be controversial when it happens, but that people are going to be able to, at some point, go to a doctor and decide which sex kid they want to have. And, if this is private information, they don't have to tell anyone, oh, I don't know, I didn't do any of this. That's likely and it looks like it's going to be happening. And the technology is simple enough that it could be 5 years down the road if it can get FDA approval and if it can get society approval. So the big question then for the other 3 people here at the table, would you do it?
No, and I'd fight to make it illegal everywhere.
Why?
I don't want to be the fun vampire. I would say no. I would not do it.
Yeah, but you just said you would fight to make it illegal, so I'm asking your
follow-up
not sure that
determining.
Oh no, I'm looking at.
I'm
not going to be a fun vampire. I'm not.
No, but I'm saying.
Nope, I refuse.
This is Todd. First off, you can't make that decision. You've already become the fun vampire. But secondarily, this is not a story in which we're talking about, woohoo, this is a lot more fun if you could determine the sex of your kid. This is actually a science story. So you're saying on ethical, moral grounds, you would not want to determine.
I've been reading about 132 villages in areas of India where no girls have been born for 3 months. And I'm looking at Japan, and I'm looking at China, and I'm looking at a real misbalance. I just think that I fear, Mike, that the technology be misused, and that's my fear.
That's everyone's fear. That's not unusual. Kenny?
I wouldn't, because I like surprises and I like to roll the dice. For both of them, I didn't know until delivery that they were both boys.
And Andrew?
I say go for it. We'd actually finally find out if sexism still exists in the United States to the extent that people believe it does or does not.
He's such a better feminist than I am.
He is really.
Yeah. All right, we come back on the Candy, Mike, and Todd Show. Should your neighbors have to sign off if you want to put a tiny house in your backyard for people who have been homeless? Or said another way, should you get to veto your neighbors doing that? We'll talk about that. Right now, we got a traffic report from Tracy Taylor.
Oh boy, got a new problem for drivers